I'd like to tell you about the devil, God, and me. And before you pass judgment on me and scroll, this isn't about what you probably think it's about. Let me explain. In 2020, at 30 years old, my life was coming to an end. I had been fighting a losing battle against addiction for many, many years. And no matter how hard I tried to fight this demon, I couldn't seem to win. I couldn't seem to find my way out of it. I was drinking a fifth of whiskey every single day of my life. I was 40 pounds heavier than I am now. I was red and bloated, and I was literally on the verge of death. From the outside looking in, you wouldn't have known the hell that I was experiencing, the hell that I was going through, because I had kids at home, I had a wife, my family was healthy, I had a home, everything looked fine from the outside. I put on a smile every day and pretended like everything was okay. But inside, I knew that there was only two ways out of this mess that I had caused for myself. And that was either to stop completely or to die. And either the bottle was going to kill me or I was going to leave this earth. There was no other option in my mind at this time. I felt cursed. It was like a spell had been cast on me and there was no way to break this spell. I didn't know how to get out. Now, if you've ever fought addiction or know someone who's fought addiction, you understand the revolving door, this cycle of addiction that folks go through. I would quit over and over and over in my mind. I would be on the very last sip of the bottle at the end of the day and tell myself every time, this is it. This is the last drink I will ever take. And tomorrow is going to start my new journey into my new life. I'm going to get healthier. I'm going to save myself from this curse that has taken over my life and ruined the lives of so many people around me. I'm going to change this tomorrow. Just one more day is all I need. If I make it through tonight and I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to do better tomorrow. And then tomorrow would come along and I would start all over. And this happened for years and years and years. So much that I became the boy who cried wolf. Everyone around me knew that he's not going to stop. He's going to promise that he's going to get better. He's going to lie to everyone and tell them, I'm going to do better tomorrow. And then he's going to do the same thing the next day and the next day and the next day until time runs out. But something about being an addict and making these promises to myself every day that I'm going to do better tomorrow gave me this sense of hope that maybe I really will change tomorrow, when in all reality, I knew deep inside my heart that I was going to do the same exact thing tomorrow. I'm going to say the same thing tomorrow, and nothing was going to change. I would make these promises to myself and to the people around me that I'm going to do better soon, knowing that I was not going to, and knowing that there was only one way I was going to stop, and that was to die. That was to not exist anymore. That was to get to my last drink and promise myself that I'm going to do better tomorrow. I'm going to wake up and do better tomorrow, and eventually not wake up. The only way in my mind that I was going to get better was to not have the opportunity to get better. It was to not even have the chance to wake up anymore. Now, music has always been my best friend. Since as far back as I can remember, no matter what it is that I was going through in life, through all my addictions and alcoholism, music was there for me when I needed it. No matter how many people around me left and I felt like turned their back on me, which in hindsight, they had every right to. Music never left me. It was always there when I needed it. In the lowest moments of my life, at the end of the night, when everyone was sound asleep, when the rest of the world was just being regular people, and I was alone in the field or in my pickup truck, just drowning in my addictions. Music was right there with me at all times. It never left. Partying days with so-called friends ended way before my addictions did. At the end of my drinking days, I found myself alone more than anything. In fact, I found myself trying to escape the people around me, even the people I loved the most. I was so ashamed of who I had become that I would leave my home. I would leave my family, my wife and my kids, and I would leave just to go and be able to drink, to feed my addictions by myself, so that no one had to see me in the shape that I was going to absolutely put myself in every single day. I would seek loneliness so that I could feed this demon that had taken over my life. Not that I wanted to be alone, but it was necessary to be able to continue being who I was at the time, who I couldn't seem to escape. So loneliness took over my life, whether I wanted it to or not. I forced it into my life. Now, the devil, God, and me. In 2020, early 2020, the pandemic had taken over the world. Everyone was still very confused and didn't know what was going on, didn't know how to react. And I doubled down. I doubled down and fully gave in to my addictions. I was no longer in control. I was, but I wasn't aware of it at the time. My alcoholism had taken the wheel and was driving me headfirst into my grave, whether I liked it or not. And one night, in the middle of the week, I found myself alone at the kitchen table. My kids and my wife, the whole family was asleep, and I was just sitting in it. I was at the end of the bottle, and I was just sitting and letting it have me. Now, this had sort of become my routine, to drink and drink and drink throughout the afternoon until I was just lost. And I would just sit. I would just sit still with Pandora playing music on shuffle. And I would just listen to music and just sit in my drunkenness. I wasn't out doing anything, or I wasn't going anywhere. I was just sitting in it, alone, and just letting it eat me alive. And I had sort of lost all feeling. I had lost all emotions, and I had just become this shell of a man who would sit alone and drink till I couldn't think, until I passed out. And I would just sit and listen to my music. And on this particular night, that's what I was doing. I was sitting at the table with Pandora on, and I was just letting the recommended songs play and staring at the floor. And a song came on that completely changed everything for me. I had never heard this song before. I had never even heard of this artist before this moment. But when the first couple notes of the guitar played on this song, suddenly my loneliness felt like it began to disappear. I had feeling suddenly, just from the first few notes. And I knew that I needed to listen. Suddenly I had this moment of Pay attention, man. Don't be lost in yourself. Just listen. And the song continued to play. And when this fella started to sing on the song, I suddenly had emotion that I hadn't had in what felt like years before this. I'm a songwriter. I'm a musician. I play music for a living. That's what I do. And I fully understand the importance of songwriting and lyrics, so much that I named my son Lyric. And when the words to this song began, I knew that this song was written for me. I knew in that moment that this was going to be important for me in this moment of my life. And if you've ever had a song hit you like this, you understand that no matter what the song was written about, in this exact moment of my life, in this low point of my life, I knew this song is mine. In the first verse of this song, there's a line that says, "Mother, may I rest my head, though I did not try my best. And mother, may I sip the wine, although I did not tend the vine." And this line, in that moment, brought me from staring at the floor to looking up, which seems so insignificant. But it brought me thought, which is something I hadn't been doing. It suddenly made me start thinking and asking questions of myself. Mother, may I rest my head, although I did not do my best. Was that line hit me so heavy, just enough that it made me question what I was doing in that moment. Was it okay for me to sit still and to just rest from the pain that I was causing myself and the people around me? Am I allowed to stop? And that was a question that I needed to ask myself. And I did not realize that until those words. But even more importantly, the chorus of the song is so simple yet so powerful. And it just says, "O death, you can come for me. O death, but you can't comfort me." And in that moment, that I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that, knowing in my mind that I felt like any moment I was going to leave this world, whether it be the alcohol or by my own hand. And I didn't know why. I didn't have the answers of why I was in this situation or why I felt this way. It just was this way to me. Like I said at the beginning, it was like a curse. And I felt like death was coming for me at any moment. It was going to be here, and I was going to ruin the lives of all the people around me. I was going to ruin my children's lives forever. My wife, my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, everybody. I was going to be the tragedy of the family. I was going to be the story that broke generations of people because I wouldn't or I couldn't stop the things that I was doing. But those lines, "O death, you can come for me. O death, but you can't comfort me." Meaning that, yes, the reality is it can, and it was going to happen at any moment, but it wasn't going to bring any peace. And it couldn't bring peace for me if it was going to destroy the people around me. And the chorus of that song suddenly gave me an emotion that I hadn't felt in many, many years. And in that exact moment, the most perfect timing that a song can possibly hit a man, in the lowest rock bottom of my life, these words came to me on a random shuffle on some streaming platform that I had just downloaded. This song felt like it was given to me. And I needed it more than anything I had ever needed. And the strange thing is that I didn't even realize it in that moment that I heard the song. I knew it was powerful. I felt it. I felt this change happen, and I knew that these words were important. But it didn't settle in. It didn't immediately change what I was doing. I continued what I was doing right there throughout the night, and the next day, and the next day. The difference is I went back and kept listening to the song. And each time I heard the song, the words got stronger. The meaning of the song got more powerful for me. Although I don't even know what this man wrote this song about. I don't know his personal reasons for why he wrote this song. But I know for me, in that moment, it made a difference. And it made me want to hear it more. And it made me take it more seriously each time I heard it. And suddenly the meaning of this song began to change for me. And it went from this darkness that I was feeling, and it gave me this tiniest sparkle of hope. Something so small and seemingly insignificant. Each time I listened to it, there was just a grain of sand size bit of hope that I felt after hearing it. And those tiny moments are so important. The song is by a man named Evan Bartels, Bartels. And the song is called The Devil, God, and Me. I drank for probably 6 more months after I heard this song, until all hell broke loose in my life, until I almost met my end, but I didn't. And it wasn't because of this song, but this song was a piece of the story that led to my sobriety. This song was a very small part of some of the loneliest nights of my life. And in those lonely moments where things could have taken a drastic turn, in this dark, drunken stupor that I put myself in every night, things could have gone way worse. But songs like this were there for me. It was there for me to take and to use whatever way I saw fit to use for myself. And that is the beauty of music. I don't know the man that wrote this song. I don't know why he wrote this song. But as a songwriter myself, I do understand the importance of writing music that is personal enough for yourself to help you through whatever it is you're trying to heal through, and being able to give it away to the world for the world to use for its own healing. And that's exactly what this song did for me. It just gave me an extra tool to help me through what I was going through at the time. Some of the worst moments of my life. And this song was playing in the background. And even if I didn't realize how important it was at the time, I do now. Almost 6 years later, I haven't had a drink. I am alive to tell the story. I'm standing on my own 2 feet, looking through 2 clear, sober eyes. And at that time, I didn't think that would ever happen. I thought it was over for me. And it was songs like this that helped change the course of my life completely. And now I can listen to this song And I can think back to those moments, and I can think about my younger self now and the worst parts of me, and I can be proud of that version of myself for living through it, for becoming a better father to my children, a better son to my parents, a better brother to my siblings, a better man to my woman, becoming a better man overall in general. I can be proud of myself for that. And I can be thankful for the music that helped get me to this point in my life, to be able to have confidence and vulnerability at the same time, enough to be realistic about where I was and who I was and where that could have led my life. It could have ended a lot sooner than it should have, but it didn't. And The Devil, God, and Me by Evan Bartles is one reason that it didn't. Because music saved my life over and over and over, along with my family, along with the people that were there to support me. My children, most importantly, my children saved me. But music never left my side. It was there for me the whole time, no matter when I needed it. I could play music and it would take me to a place where I know there was no judgment. No one would hold anything against me. It would allow me to look at the things I've done, to address my regrets and my guilt and my shame, and move me forward just a little bit, just enough to get through to the next step or the next stage in my life that I needed to get to. And here we are. Sobriety. The most beautiful part of my life. And this song is partly responsible for that. As small and insignificant as it seemed in that moment of my life, sitting alone in the dark at the kitchen table with a sip left and a fifth of whiskey, looking at the floor, lost, no feeling, just a shell of myself. This song came along and lifted me up off the floor just enough to give me a nudge in the right direction. And every time I listen to this song, I go back to that moment, and I'm thankful for it. Music saves my life every day. Music can change your life. And this song in particular helped change mine. Thank you guys for listening. Music matters. If you're struggling with addiction and you don't know if you'll be here tomorrow, if you don't know how you're going to get through the rest of today, and you feel cursed and you feel lost and you feel a shell of yourself, please talk to someone. And that sometimes is the hardest thing that you can possibly do, is to open up and be honest about what you're going through. But one conversation can change your life forever. If you're able, talk to someone. And if you don't feel able to talk to someone, use the things you have. Use the music for what it's for. Find the music that can help you through this moment in your life, because there is light on the other side of addiction. It will change the course of your life completely if you start today. If you don't give your addiction another chance to run your life, you are in control, and you may not even know it right now. You have the ability to control what you do, and you may feel cursed, but you're stronger than you could ever know right now. You have that power inside of you to do what you need to do, to get sober, to straighten your life up, to find yourself again. And that is a relatable feeling, to not even know who you are anymore. But you're still in there. If you can't go to the mirror and look at yourself in your eyes right now because you're afraid of what you're going to see, do it. Go look at yourself and remember who's really in there. Not the physical version of yourself that you see in the mirror right now that scares you, that terrifies you. and makes you worry about where you're going to be tomorrow or if you're going to be here tomorrow, the real version of you is still in there, and you can find it. I promise you can find it. You're already strong enough to do it, even if you don't know it. Do it. Commit to the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. And on the other side of it, you will be able to look back and tell this version of yourself how proud you are, that you made it through, that you done the hardest thing, you accomplished the hardest thing you could ever do. I promise you, I swear to you that you can do it. And if you know somebody who's struggling with addiction, reach out to them. Ask them if they're okay, because sometimes that can change someone's life. One hug can completely change the course of someone's life and give them a future that they may not think that they have right now. Stay strong, you guys.